Welcome to Panel Up, your sometimes monthly pop culture panel. I'm John Campbell.
And I am Mike Gargoni.
Hey, this time we are monthly. Yeah. As we said, we're trying to be better about it.
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah. Well, how could we not talk about this?
Pretty easily. We could just not.
Yeah, the biggest financial failure of the year so far.
Oh, I know how we could not talk about it, John. We could do it like millions of audience members around the world did in seeing the movie and just not go.
Can I say that breaks my heart, though, Gargoni?
I know it does.
Because we did see Masters of the Universe.
We did. Not to be confused with Master of the Universe, which it came out about the same time.
That's a big problem, too. A lot of people are confusing those.
At a local Redbox, I'm sure they might be.
Yeah. Is Redbox still a thing?
I have no idea. I just like making that joke.
I do too. I want it to be a thing just to keep making that joke. But yes, there is an Asylum mockbuster of this. It's called Master of the Universe. By the way, if you look at the poster, the tagline is, "He's the man."
Because you see, he's legally distinct that, man.
Yeah, if you look at that, you can't copyright the word he and the word man.
Just because our poster has a muscly guy with a sword doesn't mean it's the same thing.
By the way, we looked at the trailer for that. I love that we're talking about this. We looked at the trailer for that. The guy's not muscly really at all.
No, he's always wearing a shirt. He's barely muscled at all.
He doesn't. Yeah, well, I love that. It's classic Asylum thing where it's like, actually, it's really not that much like He-Man at all.
No, based on the trailer, it's about some evil space king invading a fantasy world.
Yeah. Masters of the Universe. We did in the past on our old show, we did talk about the Netflix reboot of it, which we're
Revelations.
Revelation and Revolution is the second one.
Yes.
We were big fans of that.
I think you're a bigger fan than me. I liked it.
Okay. Are you a big He-Man guy?
No.
Okay. All right. Okay. So just this in general is more my thing.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Even though it's got a lot of Mike Gargoni shit in it.
It's got plenty of Mike Gargoni shit. I love a good space barbarian, but I was always more of a Thundar guy.
I'm sorry. We have to make shirts that say I'm more of a Thundar guy. That's so funny. Or a GoBots guy myself.
I mean, it sounds stupid, but it's kind of true. Like I kind of totally missed He-Man. Like it would be on sometimes the Masters of the Universe cartoon, but like I know it through more cultural osmosis than I do actual participation in the, like, I watched way more Thundercats than I ever did Masters of the Universe.
And I would have been much more Masters of the Universe over Thundercats, although G.I. Joe above all for me, obviously, was my.
And I like completely am not a G.I. Joe guy. I know I know Snow Job, and that's about it.
Well, you know the most important one. When a job needs to be done in the snow, there's only one guy to call.
Yeah, of course.
No, I was definitely G.I. Joe was my tippy top for me, which makes so much sense if you know me.
Sure.
That was my jam. I had all the vehicles and stuff, and then loved Transformers. I think Transformers were kind of
Transformers is the bigger chunk of that Venn diagram for us, and I think it also helps that Transformers has had more successful iterations in the successive years.
I will say, yeah, Amazon shouldn't be that shocked because I don't think any version of Masters of the Universe has really taken off other than the very original one.
Sure, the one that needed to sell toys.
Yeah. Well, Masters of the Universe, yes, because let's not forget, Masters of the Universe was kind of the start of this whole idea of, okay, because basically it was Mattel wanting, like, how do we get in on the market, the action figure market, when it's dominated by Star Wars, right? Because we don't have a license like Star Wars. And actually, this is ingenious if you really think about it. What if we make a bunch of action figures and then put little comics in the action figures that make up the story of the action figures? So we're basically making licensed figures of a thing that doesn't exist.
Sure. We're inventing the license and laying the train tracks in front of us as we go.
Kind of brilliant. And then subsequently, then other stuff did that. And because, of course, And Transformers was, let's take these Japanese toys and make up stories for them.
Right.
And then G.I. Joe is, let's just do that with army guys.
G.I. Joe was like, we'll hire Larry Hama and he'll write it for 20 years.
He's still writing it, Gorgoni.
I know.
Still coming out weekly.
Sorry, 40
and I gotta
years.
say, it still cooks. I gotta say, it's still great. I still love G.I. Joe: Real American Hero. It's still one of my favorite comics. Also, if you haven't read the Joshua Williamson relaunch of it, the whole shared Energon universe at Image, really good stuff. We have Duke in an insane asylum because he saw a car turn into a robot turn into a jet.
Sure.
And they're like, "You're crazy, Duke." Anyway,
but yeah,
all
as far as
Masters
of the Universe,
this is going to be a crazy statement. Is maybe the silliest of them, even though they're all very silly. But I do think I have a great love of this though, because this is like, hey, here's a bunch of stuff you like. Just put in a blender.
It is the one that feels most like we tipped the toy box upside down and made stories out of the things that fell out. And that is on purpose, right?
What if Lord of the Rings, drove headfirst into Star Wars and Conan the Barbarian stopped by to look at the accent,
But also, like, yeah, we also need everyone to have vehicles. So there's like a bunch of race cars and like weird hovercraft and... Yeah. Also, there's a castle play set.
If any of this sounds critical, it shouldn't, because I love it, and I have a lot of these toys, and I have always dug the, like, why not kitchen sink approach to He-Man. It's actually something I dig about the franchise, and getting to this movie, it's something I love about this movie. A movie I love.
And yeah, all of me being slightly dismissive of Masters of the Universe as a franchise is... not to say that I didn't love this movie.
How can you... people who have seen it, for the most part, that I've talked to, the question, a lot of people haven't gone to see it, but people who have seen it I've talked to have almost unanimously enjoyed it, that I've talked to. Aside from one person, and I think you know who he is.
Michael Listman?
Would have liked... Somebody would have liked some more respect for the source material.
Oh, Olivia. Yeah, she can be a real stickler about that.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Yeah, I was trying to throw you off there with the pronouns. But no, yeah. I think anyone who listens to our shows knows who was a little bit disappointed here. But this movie is a blast.
It's a romp. It is a grade A romp. And I've heard some people compare it to the Dungeons & Dragons movie, Honor Among Thieves. I think the only reason I don't put it on the same level as that is maybe the reason you do, John, would be because of your familiarity with the franchise and your love of it coming into it, right? Whereas I'm coming at it from the other angle with the D&D movie.
I think that's why this is a little bit above D&D, and for you it's a little bit below D&D.
100%.
For me, this is like, I'm sitting in the theater going, Ram Man, Fisto, let's go,
Mecha Neck.
Mecha Neck. I was like, oh my God, I live in a world where Mecha Neck is realized on screen. And yeah, there was a lot of stuff where I'm like, and this guy is Moss Man, obviously, or whatever.
Guy made of moss. He's Moss Man.
Yeah. By the way, can I talk about we got to talk about Travis Knight here, because the reason this movie is the way it is director Travis Knight, who came in, and I've heard a lot of interviews where he's talked about, like, came in and was just like, no bullshit, we're doing He-Man, we're doing Masters of the Universe. Because he talked about when he came in, they were like, well, Skeletor, kind of stupid, right? We're gonna have to make it'll be a guy in like a metal mask, and he's like, fuck that. That's not happening.
Skeletor's the best part of this movie.
Skeletor's... Is this the best Jared Leto performance?
Yes, 100%, hands down.
He's amazing in it. Like, because once again, and as been stated, he came to them.
Sure, yeah.
He's like, I have a take, and that take was dead on, sir.
Because he is the embodiment of how these movies succeed. They take the thing you played with when you were a little kid, and they try to realize what you imagined it being like in your head.
Nail on the head, sir, right there. You hit it.
And what Skeletor is in this movie is a combination of that and the meme of Skeletor. Yep. And it's, like, flawless.
but it never tips too far. He is the legitimate villain of the movie, but he's also a completely ridiculous character. And I don't know how they pulled it. It's I would say that's indicative of what works about the whole movie. The movie is, and I keep saying this to people, and I said this in an argument with one of my other co-hosts, of course.
You shouldn't be arguing with Elliot. They're a very kind and lovely person.
I love people just go, who didn't he mention? That's who it is. Anyone who listens knows, and who I'm often arguing with. But this movie is laughing with Masters of the Universe.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
It is not treating it too seriously. It's treating it just seriously enough. And it's laughing and then going, but yeah, right? Like it is like, yeah, it's ridiculous. But also, somebody's got to stop this guy.
One of the premises of the movie that occurs, it's basically a runner over the course of the film, is that all of the ridiculous names of these characters, except for weirdly Skeletor, are
because that guy just is Skeletor.
He's Skeletor. Is the imaginings of this 10-year-old trying to hold on to the memories of the thing from his childhood.
One of my favorite screenwriting moves in years, honestly. Yeah. They did that, and I went, that is incredible. He's called Ram Man because the way Adam remembers it, well, he was a man who rams things, so he's Ram Man. And the other guy has a giant fist, so he's Fisto. It's all that.
It's like, again, he's the child remembering the things that he was captivated by in his youth and trying to put a name to them. And that's how we get all of the ridiculousness of a Fisto, of a Ram Man, of a Mecha announced,
and we were seeing some of the footage from it. You were saying, I remember you going like, I don't want to go to Earth in this thing. Seeing it now, that it's such a good device. I think it really, really works in the movie. This idea of the guy who's from Eternia, sent to live on Earth, but is still Eternian, if that's the phrase.
Sure.
Or if that's the word. Yeah. And is then just like, they're just like, oh man, you were a kid with a vivid imagination who liked to draw, of course, but is still just ever, being He-Man to a certain extent.
I think it works because we spend so much of the opening of the movie in Eternia to begin with. We get the whole...
really well balanced.
We get the whole sequence with Adam kind of being looked down upon, because this whole movie is really a meditation on what we grasp onto as children, and specifically how like young men can view masculinity and how that it's affects them.
I've seen a lot of think pieces where they talk about like, man, this movie's talking about toxic masculinity. It is, but don't get the wrong idea about that. It's not a preachy diatribe, because I think that's people going like, oh man, they're gonna talk about toxic masculinity. They are, but not in like a, hey fellas, come on now,
But
way. But it is
far
like, what does it mean to be a leader? What does it mean to be strong? You know?
And like, how are we perceived by our fathers, and how do we let that influence us?
What does it truly mean to, what is using violence and when you use it, and what is negotiating and empathy and, being a peacekeeper, right? I mean, because that what we end up finding the funny idea that, and of course, spoilers for the movie.
We're going to spoil the heck out of Masters of the Universe. Spoiler alert, He-Man beats Skeletor.
Yeah, but I'm saying, but part of the reason he's able to do it is because he's a good team leader. And the idea that he works in HR when he's there, and he's just good at resolving problems and getting to the heart of conflict.
Yeah.
And inspiring the best in others.
I loved the final confrontation in this movie so much because of that sort of like core ethos that the film has about this guy being a good dude and trying to resolve conflicts, and not like, he's He-Man, he is the big burly guy with the sword, but that being the last resort of conflict resolution. I don't know. For those who do not know, who listen or consume our products here at the Punch Up Entertainment Network, I'm Mike Ergoni, work in the security field. Like, that is my day job. It's how I pay the bills. And, like, conflict management and de-escalation is such a big part of that job that, like, seeing that displayed in a fantastical setting for the like sort of idealized He-Man also being a guy to be just like, can we just stop, please? And obviously, eventually you run into a skull-faced maniac who's going to up the ante and attack you no matter what you do.
One of my favorite beats in this movie is where they talk about like, well, maybe, you know, there's more to these people. It's like, no, not Skeletor. He is just an evil skeleton.
Yeah, he's an evil skeleton man. There's not much else there.
Don't worry, there's no like, but secretly Skeletor he's just the embodiment of evil. He's a son of a bitch. I don't know what to tell you.
He is the villain. He says as much.
Yeah. And it's just like, oh, okay, then that guy's gotta go then.
Yeah, no, he's gotta go.
And of course, there's some monsters in here and stuff too that, once again, what I want to say, I guess my thing about like when it's talking about toxic masculinity, this isn't a movie about He-Man putting down his sword, but yes, being wise in when he reaches for his sword.
It is the idea that to use one's strength to help people is part of being strong, but also that is the use of that force isn't what defines you as a strong person.
Right.
And that's like so important to me personally on a professional level.
There are many different kinds of strength, right? That can take on many forms. And, the other thing I've seen a lot of people bring up is how surprisingly moving they find the movie, like emotional. Because I do think that it really, this is a 2 hour, 20-minute movie that I think warrants its runtime because it does drill down into character, I think, much more than people might expect from Masters of the Universe.
Definitely where both Prince Adam and especially Teela and Man-at-Arms are concerned. Those are our triumvirate in this movie.
Man-at-Arms has always been my favorite He-Man character, and he remains that here because he's played brilliantly by the great Sir Idris Elba.
Sir Idris Elba. Let us not forget.
And playing Sir Duncan here, the goddamn Man-at-Arms. Yeah.
And I think,
when he rips Strapjaw's jaw off,
shoves a grenade down his throat. It's so good.
Hells yeah. Hells yeah.
Yeah.
And I love his journey of going from being the Man-at-Arms, losing that, and then reclaiming his stance as Man-at-Arms.
I think that's why I'm less like grumpy face about the Earth stuff, because we spend the first 20 minutes of the movie with Man-at-Arms being that example to Adam of what like proper masculine strength maybe should be when he's getting the wrong idea about being a better dad than his dad.
Yeah, because I mean his dad, King Randor, played by James Purefoy, kind of a dick.
He's an ass.
Or at least very narrow-minded when it comes to what a man should be.
He turns it around with his dying breath, but that's it.
I guess perhaps maybe I was wrong about some things. Yeah. But yeah, it's and the way we spend a lot of time with kid Prince Adam, which I was not expecting this prologue to be a good 20 minutes or so of the movie.
Yeah, and it gets us all the establishing bits of Eternia. We got the Castle Grayskull. We got Morena Baccarin as the sorceress.
Love Morena Baccarin as the sorceress.
She's great. I think it's a little bit of a thankless role. It was always going to be because the sorceress is such a you can do it He-Man character.
Yeah, but she brings gravitas to it. That's
totally
important.
Yeah.
And it's all her stuff is great, I think. And if this were to continue, there could be more with her.
Sure, maybe. Maybe they do the whole like her and Evil Lynn are maybe related. Who knows?
Yeah, I want to get to obviously our villains because we did talk about how great Skeletor is, but also let's not sleep on how good Alison Brie is as Evil Lynn.
I mean, the two-hander of Alison Brie and God, I can't believe I'm getting kudos to Jared Leto. I know you like Jared Leto. I dislike him as on a both personal and professional level. I haven't liked many of the things he's in, and I think he's
Antonides performance.
He's a gross person in a lot of ways. He's left dead rats in people's trailers and led people to weird cultish situations and maybe groomed some people. Anyway,
he's a great Skeletor.
he's a great Skeletor, and his back and forth with Alison Brie's Evil Lynn is pretty dang good.
It's really good. One of my favorite moments in the movie when he just goes, "You're trying me, woman." I gotta say, when the trailer came out and people were like, "Oh, he's not doing the Skeletor voice," I never would have expected anybody to do Alan Oppenheimer's He-Man, but he is doing that tone, if not that voice. Skeletor has that personality in this movie.
He's an operatic villain. That's why when like Mark Hamill played him in those animated films, it worked so well.
It's in the same vein as the Mark Hamill
performance,
where it is more grounded, but still quite theatrical. That bit too, when he goes, "When I raise my fist, that's what the laugh. It comes to the crescendo. That's the crescendo. What do you do? You know?"
And I'm done when the fist goes up.
Which is very Skeletor to me, that he is always just like, "Oh, I work with idiots. Dear God, I just want to take over the universe, and these dum-dums are keeping me from doing it. Good Lord, why am I surrounded by dummies?"
When he gets woken up in his castle after they get back to Eternia, and the little pig man who's with him like hands him his staff, and Skeletor just says, "If you drop that, I'll kill you like I did with your mom." It was just like, holy crap, okay.
It's so good. And like I said, I do love that Jared Leto was like, "Cast me, I know how to play this guy." And then to actually see it, you're like, I guess he did. And it's all him, by the way. I've seen some people be like, "Well, it's just a guy in a voice." Nope. It is him in every shot of the movie.
Did they just set. They digitally insert? Is he wearing a suit because the abs looked real?
The suit is all real. Okay. And then they just replaced his face. Now, I will say, in classic Jared Leto fashion, to be intimidating, he did smear fake blood all over his face so that people would be scared of him on set.
Okay.
Yeah, which you can see pictures of.
I'm just glad he didn't like exhume a body and wear a skull on his head, I guess.
Alison Brie did say he was pretty creepy, as you might imagine.
Shocking? No one.
Yeah, but it is all him. It's just, and then digitally replace the skull face.
It looks great.
It by the way, the whole movie looks amazing. I will say, if it ends up being a bad financial decision for Amazon, I'm still thrilled that they spent all the money on this thing, because talk about like I felt like a 10-year-old kid where you do talk about the Kids Castle Grayskull and there's Battle Cat and all this stuff that you're just like, it's all real and it looks gorgeous. This is a beautiful looking movie. The colors and the design. I mean, that's the thing I wanted to bring up about Travis Knight, who also directed Bumblebee, which I know we're both fans of.
I am a big fan of the first 20 minutes of that movie.
The beginning of Bumblebee is such amazing stuff. And this is that on an even larger level, where he's just like, no, we're doing it. Idris Elba is in the Man-at-Arms armor. Everyone is in these outfits, and we're not being like, look at how dumb they look. No, they look awesome in them. And we're all the colors, all the sounds, all the, atmosphere of Eternia is so fully realized here. The sheer love that is put into this movie from this guy. And of course his entire design team, but that's stemming from a director who's like, no, I will put my foot down. This will be like the cartoon.
The one thing this film is going to give us forever, and it will never be able to be taken away from you, John, unless market forces decide otherwise. But a Hot Toy Skeletor based on this film will be owned by John Campbell, and I am sure.
If you think I haven't already pre-ordered it, who are you talking to? Of course. It's gorgeous. It's a gorgeous figure, yeah.
Because he's a full blue muscly man with a skull head. It looks great.
And if people don't want that, then I'm sad for them. But I will say, I don't think this movie would have been a huge hit had they not done that. It's like, it is, at the end of the day, it's Masters of the Universe, and they did it. They made about as much, the most Masters of the Universe possible. We haven't talked about Nicholas Galitzin, who I think is fantastic as Prince Adam / He-Man, and that is a deceptively hard part to play.
Well, because he's effectively inventing a character out of whole cloth, really. Because, especially in those old cartoons, Prince Adam and He-Man are barely characters.
Well, Prince Adam is a guy who talks like this, and then he becomes He-Man. You know,
Yeah.
it's. I laughed maybe the hardest at the bit where he's like, "Hold on, I'll go get He-Man," and they're all just like, Does he think we don't know he's He-Man?" Because that was always one of the dumbest things on the show. Of course,
Right.
was the idea that like, oh, you mean the guy with He-Man's face isn't He-Man? And he was slightly smaller, but that's clearly He-Man.
But it's like when you say slightly smaller, like the sculpt of the toy is the same though.
Yeah. This is just like, yeah. And in the cartoon, he's drawn a little slimmer, but like,
wait,
yeah.
Prince Adam has a big green tiger that follows him around, and
Yeah.
He-Man has a big green tiger that follows
And even
him
more
around.
so that no one recognized Cringer as Battle Cat is also completely insane. I mean, this movie won me over by just putting Cringer in the MGM logo, but
Sure.
and also I didn't know because they hadn't revealed it, but I'm like, is he gonna talk? You goddamn right, Cringer talks.
Cringer better talk. Come on.
Yeah, everything talks here. I mean, Kristen Wiig is Roboto. I also loved all that stuff.
Roboto, is that a character that has any kind of like deep significance in the He-Man?
I mean, in as much as a lot of stuff has, yeah, sort of.
Sure, but like when I expect like a non-human character to be tagging along for the ride, I expect an Orko, and I got a Roboto.
Yeah, I do wonder. There had to have been an Orko conversation at some point, right?
Just too expensive, you think?
I don't know what the thinking there is, but I did love that they did the cartoon.
The PSA.
Well, kids,
yeah.
Here's what we learned today. With Orko is pretty great. Roboto is a character from it. I mean, I'm not sure how important Roboto is to, you know,
barely important to the movie, but yeah.
I always assume that every toy was someone's favorite toy, so I'm sure there are Roboto fans out there. Because it was like, I don't know, the robot one.
Yeah, and look, having a big robot tromping around with everybody that's voiced by Kristen Wiig, I'm not mad. I just like
it's funny, yeah. And
as far as
the whole relationship with her and Man at Arms.
As far as iconic Masters of the Universe characters, it's definitely like there was a big Orko-shaped hole in this movie until the last.
Well, there's a couple things that I love when people, you know, talking to people who haven't seen the movie, and of course they're instantly like, "Is this one in it? Is this print?" It's like, well, they're not all in it. They got a lot of the classic Masters of the Universe toys in here, but you're like, he's not in there, and they're not in there, and where's this character? And just like, well, you know, I mean, I think the plan has been to do more of these. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know. With Amazon, it's always tough to tell because
Amazon has actually been pretty has released statements going like, we're totally fine with this, with how this has been playing.
Look,
because
if they can go full
isn't our end game.
Yeah, if they can go full sunk cost fallacy on Rings of Power, like who knows where this goes.
I mean, that is a fair point, but yeah, I mean, I do think if there were to be a sequel, it will probably either be an Amazon original movie or a series.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, they've talked about that this is a long-term investment in having a recognizable IP, franchise.
And where's the best place you can buy the new He-Man toys, John?
Well, right when you go to Amazon.com, there's a whole separate thing you can click on.
Yeah.
And get your toys, your bed sheets, your kids' books.
Uh-huh.
I mean, you say, yeah, but at the end of the day, as much as I love this stuff, it was always designed.
I know.
You can't pretend that this is anything new. This isn't Amazon specifically.
I just hate it because the oligarchs are in charge of it now. Not, that scrappy little do-gooder Mattel.
Yeah, I know. By the way, going to movies and seeing a Mattel logo at the front is pretty weird, isn't it?
No, we got Barbie. This isn't the first time.
I do like the people who compare this to Barbie, and I saw some critics be like, I wish this was more like Barbie. I'm like, I don't.
In what world?
I don't know what that means. Yeah, but also, like, Master of the Universe has a narrative. Barbie doesn't have a central narrative to it, so the idea that you could build something out of that was kind of amazing, because I think Barbie was like the 1 out of 100 things that would work for a live-action Barbie movie.
Because if you try to do...
This doesn't have to actually work as hard.
If you tried to do a deconstructionist take on Masters of the
Yeah.
Universe, what it becomes is the like weird dream sequence fight that's happening between Adam and Skeletor in the last like
I mean,
fight
I
of
will
this
say
movie.
that goes pretty far into, and I do think that tested some people's patience. Some of the hardcore fans were like, "What?" I enjoyed all of that with him in the gym,
Yeah.
and then him as the douchebag guy in the office.
I mean, like I say, it rides that line between the thing you imagine as a kid and the meme.
Yeah, and I think for me, it came out on the right side of that. It balanced those things really well. I never felt that the franchise I like has been disrespected. Other people may
Yeah.
disagree. I've seen that not just from some people I've talked to, but like in written of like, what the hell, man?
Now,
I want
here's
He-Man to be badass.
my question to you, John, because like normally this would be the
Yeah.
part where I say, well, the audience in my theater reacted thusly to this, and may I be get a barometer.
Did you see this by yourself?
I saw it by myself in an empty theater.
I saw it in a pretty full theater, but I went like opening day.
Sure,
Obviously.
and I went on a Monday, so at like 9 a.m.
I will say what I saw was kind of what I expected, which is a lot of dudes in our age range and a little older, of course, because
Yeah.
we came up on the reruns of He-Man, obviously.
Yeah, for sure.
So I mean that's the thing too, where it's like you weren't around for that. It's like we were around because those shows had some serious half-life.
We've talked about this on previous episodes before, but like people forget that in the early days of cable, they were just looking for programming blocks.
Yeah.
And so on Cartoon Network specifically, you started watching that channel at odd hours and you would get reruns of all sorts of weird stuff.
Oh, I mean, why do I have so much Super Friends knowledge, right? Because I was flipping the channels, like, whoa, Superman.
It's why I prefer Thundar the Barbarian.
I mean, let's say, Thundar's even goes back even further than Masters of the Universe. So, we definitely grew up in that era of. I always bring up that like we had VHS, but we were cable kids.
Yeah,
right. I mean, that was the thing about it was there's so much stuff I saw just flipping around and going, "The hell's this?"
Yeah, and I mean that's how I watched reruns of Thundercats. That's
too.
how I like. But yeah, the toys still existed, but it was definitely like the toys that were being produced as we were getting into the toy age range was still TMNT. Those never stopped.
Well, TMNT, we ride the exact because TMNT ran long enough that it was still concurrent with us, of course.
But then we also got like Street Sharks and Gargoyles and
we definitely got the TMNT boom of the TMT knockoffs. Of course, Gargoyles is a masterpiece.
Sure, but I'm just saying it also produced a lot of toys.
Yeah. Oh, did it ever? And I had a bunch of them. Yeah, of course.
Same.
Yeah. My parents spent a lot of money on those. But so I got that, and then some real bored little kids, because I will say it is just long. It was very similar to my experience seeing Speed Racer, where people go like, where parents were like, "Oh, well, this is based on a cartoon. Take the kids," and you're like, "Ooh." It is a little longer and a little more involved than maybe your 6-year-old is looking for,
and it's not quite as like cartoony in the whiz bang action of it all than you might
that's
think.
the thing where you just go like, oh, you can tell the kids are restless because they're just talking,
The one I'm very curious to see what that happened with is going to be Brad Bird's Ray Gun.
I cannot wait for Ray Gun. Is one of my most.
Oh, I can't wait, but it's going to be the exact same thing.
Yeah, is that even getting a theatrical release though? That's a Netflix.
Oh, movie. I don't know.
I don't know if that's actually coming out.
I don't know. Some of the the competing thing I was going to see that Monday morning was going to be a re-release of K-pop Demon Hunters.
I just typed in Ray Gun, and the first thing it says, a headline, it says, Ray Gun fails to get theatrical run.
Okay.
Yeah. So apparently Brad Bird tried, and they were like, no dice.
All right. Well, yeah. Okay.
I still am very excited to see it because Brad Bird made a movie for me, and I feel that it's a future noir.
Well, he's been trying to make that movie for 20 years.
Yeah. I mean, he's always had. I mean, whether it comes out in theaters or not, thank you Netflix for bankrolling it. Period. I mean, my God. Yeah. But yeah, this. Hey, they went all in on this. Amazon on Masters of the Universe, and perhaps they're lying to save face. I don't know what they would gain from that necessarily, but they're just like, no, this has always been a long game for us. If whatever this makes, but I mean, and we do live in a world where even if you support the theatrical experience, and we certainly both go to a lot of movies in the theater, there is no denying that, of course, and this has always been the case since home video started, that a movie's theatrical run is the shortest part of its lifespan.
Yeah, we've talked before how there's this like strange nadir now where in the time between a movie is done its full run in theaters and the time it ends up on streaming is like the only moment in which people aren't consuming it.
Because, I mean, there's definitely, you wonder whatever percentage of the audience that ran out to see this movie, people like me,
sure.
and you, although you didn't need to be there at moment one like I did, but that's okay.
Wasn't Thundar.
Yeah. Make the Thundar movie. Yeah, I don't see Space Barbarians taking off big though from this.
With their two blob sidekicks, Glop and Gleek.
Once again, is any of it really any sillier than any of the rest of it? But the thing I'm saying about that is whatever percentage of that number grows considerably when it's just a thing you have to click on and go like, oh shit, I'll check out Masters of the Universe. And actually, word of mouth has been decent for it. It got surprisingly good reviews by the standards of a Masters of the Universe movie.
Sure, it's a gentleman's 6. It's a solid 7.
Yeah, I mean it's got a 67% of Rotten Tomatoes. You're like, that's not very good. I'm like, for a Masters of the Universe movie, that's amazing.
Did you see the last one?
Oh, and by the way, I love the Dolph cameo.
The Dolph cameo, I have mixed feelings about it.
Come on, Grigoni, I'm in the movie.
No. It's fine, but it's not a blink and you miss it cameo. It's a very indulgent, like we're winking at the camera. We are acknowledging the meme of this thing.
I mean, it is expressly for people in our age range who saw that movie.
Sure,
and that 7-year-old me was fairly satisfied with that movie.
Well, that's before you realized that it was actually a New Gods movie that they just filed off the serial numbers of.
And I still stand by, similar to this movie, that the Frank Langella skeletal performance is fantastic.
But how much better would it have been if he was Darkseid? That's all I'm saying.
Oh, I mean, Frank Langella Darkseid would have been pretty rad, actually. That voice as a Darkseid would have been
for our
awesome,
listeners / viewers who don't know, just remap that movie onto Jack Kirby's New Gods. It's 1-to-1.
Yeah. It works. Yeah, I mean, and that was a distinct, like, well, it's 1987. And it's canon on top of that.
Right.
We just can't realize Eternia, so we have to get this thing to Earth as fast as possible.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Yeah.
And I will say, from a visual standpoint, of course, Dolph was the perfect choice.
Yeah, he big. He man.
Although, famously, as when Stallone visited the set, he did say, "You gave that guy lines." Dolph has become a better actor. I'm not going to say he's like a actor,
sure.
But at that time, English was a struggle.
He has acquired more acting chops via just sheer brute force accretion.
Although, I have said this before. The older he gets, the more he sounds like Stallone, and I think a lot of that is just he spends too much time with Sly, so his Swedish accent has morphed into Stallone,
which is whatever Stallone is.
Really talks like Stallone a lot, when you see him, and I'm just like, wow. The older he gets, the more he just becomes Sly. Yeah, it's an interesting thing that's happened. But anyway, I did enjoy that, of course. But yes, I was also surprised, like, wow, the scene is still going.
Mostly it's that it got called back.
And then when he said, remember when I played He-Man, I thought that was really weird.
Well, I mean, they might as well have, because what's his name? The kid who's playing He-Man here, Nicholas Blitzen, comes up and says, hey, any pointers for a new guy? Is just like very, very on the nose.
I remember when George Lazenby showed up as James Bond, he said, this never happened to the other fella.
Okay, yeah, it's maybe not that obvious, but...
Well, I will say that the one thing about that, and yes, I did steer us into Bond Corner, just yank the wheel.
Sure.
But the thing that's always got me about that is, number one, that's weird that he's acknowledging there was another fella, and number two, yes, it did. It happened all the time. People are trying to kill you. What even is this a commentary on? Anyway, rant over. For a movie that I think has some strong points, but is a weird movie.
But no, and it gave Dolph the ability to give the, like, hey, get behind yourself. The front is like, I like the message that he was presenting.
Oh, sure,
and
yeah,
that it came back.
It fits in thematically to the movie.
Yeah.
But once again, to Galitzin's performance, he has to be. It is so. I want more recognition of how hard it is to be the hero in these movies, because not that what Leto's doing is easy, but there's certainly so much more room to play around in. To be guileless, heroic He-Man and not just be like blown off the screen by every other character is an incredibly difficult thing to do. And he plays it beautifully. You're always with him. You know, you believe in this performance. He feels real, even though he's playing literally an action figure.
Yeah, I think to compare that, we do have to talk about Camila Mendes, who plays Tila here.
Yeah.
Because she is also like in hero action heroine mode, in like the vein of a Sigourney Weaver type.
Sure.
In Aliens, obviously.
Warrior Lady.
Yeah, but she is playing this like kind of over it, kind of like, I don't know. She is the person who is acclimated to Eternia in a way that Adam never was, because he had to leave, right?
Has also spent most of her time in an Eternia that's been taken over by Skeletor, though, too, right? And in a world where her greatest hero, her father, has failed her in her mind in some way, or has convinced himself he's a failure and now believes that himself.
But most of her role in this film is to look at Adam with a sense of like, oh shit, I don't know if he's got it, or look at her dad with a sense of, oh shit, I don't know if he's got it.
Right. It is sort of this thing about like, her attitude is like, am I going to have to take the reins on this thing? She doesn't want to do that. I mean, she's capable, but she's just like, oh man, my father, Sir Duncan, is a drunken shell of a man, for proper reasons, brought on by trauma.
He's drunken.
And then it's this whole thing about, there's this whole thing about like, well, if only we can find, Prince Adam is here to save us. You're like, oh, this guy's kind of not living up to what I think he might be. So there is sort of this thing about like, she has this kind of like, God damn it, I'm looking to put my support behind something, and maybe wrestling with that might have to be her that takes the reins on that.
But that's what made Masters of the Universe Revelations, I think, take that step, because that is the plot of that cartoon, is Tila sort of taking up the mantle of, I mean,
in that
champion.
case, at least for a bit of it, He-Man is dead, per se.
Sure.
Yeah.
But that does feel like a logical extension of the character.
I was gonna say, I just love how everybody was so cool and reasonable about that decision. And
yeah,
really
I know.
Said, let's see what happens.
The internet was a mistake. We all agree.
People think this movie's too woke, and I'm like, oh my god, okay, Jesus Christ. By the way, people freaked out about the he/him joke, and I'm like, it's a joke that his nameplate says he/him.
He literally works in human resources. The aspect of corporate life in which you have to be a little bit more aware of, and also people's proclivities about pronouns.
Also, the whole stuff with Sashir Zamata is a parody of the non-confrontational approach of modern work life.
Right. Yeah. The passive-aggressive nature of it.
Right. That is by everyone, as long as you kind of talk like this, you can kind of be shitty to people, actually.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which I thought was great. I thought that I've always liked her quite a bit.
Because it's also like a commentary on non-confrontation, like not actually confronting your problems by talking around them.
I think one of the biggest surprises to me is how thematically strong the movie is, as we were talking earlier. Like, everything does come back to this idea of kinds of conflict resolution.
Yeah, no, for sure.
And it really, like, every scene, even some of the sillier stuff like that is like, oh no, that's still actually building on the themes of this movie. which actually, to Orko's point at the end, we did learn a lesson here today, kids. And it wasn't just because a lot of the other thing too is probably a better lesson than the show ever gave us, because the end of those episodes were just like, and remember, pick up after yourself. It's like Roadblock. I always loved the G.I. Joe ones the most.
Don't be a bully.
Yeah, it was just they were very, very simple. You're like, great.
Yeah.
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 This one actually maybe has slightly more to say than your average Masters of the Universe episode. Did you stay for all the post credits?
Yeah. I don't. She-Ra, sure, okay.
Princess of Power, man.
Yeah. No, look, I got all that out of my system when I watched the cartoon.
Adam's long lost twin sister.
Yeah, sure.
That hasn't been cast.
Yeah, that's why we never see her face.
Yeah,
and the voice may or may not have been AI.
Yeah, did we get what? You saw something about that, or
no? I just the moment they don't credit someone, I am immediately suspicious now. Maybe that's just my cynicism creeping in, but like the minute I don't get a face and there's lines, but no one is given credit for it, I immediately go like, well, that's not a real person then.
I mean, it could be. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, she has like part one of the line, right?
Yeah, no, she has a line, but the fact that there was no credit in the credits and that, yeah, I don't know, made me go,
Yeah, I'm not seeing anything about who that
exactly. That's why I said that. But I don't know. Just like throwing Adora in at the end is fine, but I think it is capitalizing on the fact that the most recent successful Masters of the Universe thing was the Netflix She-Ra show.
I don't think it's capital. I think it's capital. I mean, I think it's that everyone knows that the sequel's got to be She-Ra. I mean,
do they? Who is they? It's you, John.
The He-Man show. Yeah, that's the audience for this movie.
Who barely exists. That's why this movie isn't doing well in theaters.
I like when they make movies for me specifically. That's my favorite thing.
I know, but like to say that they gotta do that in the sequel is just so disingenuous to the fact that no one has a connection to this IP anymore.
I mean, I know that has been an accusation leveled against the movie. Is like this is a movie for like 12 people, and speaking for those 12 people, I think we enjoyed it immensely. But I mean, it's everything, right? It just happens to be there's a bigger audience for Marvel stuff. But I mean, but it is treated in that same way where it's like, well, obviously movie 2 would be She-Ra. I mean, like that was my thought. I was like, well, of course that's where you go. Obviously, you got to do She-Ra, and she's got the other sword there.
And to that I go, I guess, but only because I know She-Ra honestly better than I do He-Man, because I watched the whole Netflix show of She-Ra and the Princesses of Power.
Yeah, that one didn't do it for me. I got to say, unfortunately, that was not my.
Now, why is that?
But, it's a little cute for my taste.
You hate whimsy, I get it.
It's not whimsy; it's cute. Cute and whimsy aren't the same thing. I think oftentimes when I'm accused of not liking whimsy, it's that I don't like cute. They're not the same thing. This is my new pushback.
Okay. But like,
because there's plenty of things that would be described as whimsical I enjoy, but
if it was like a badass She-Ra who's kicking ass and taking names,
oh hell yeah, let's do it, man, let's do it.
Princess That's what I'm hoping power. To get. Let's do it.
Yeah, princess who knows how to use that power, baby. Let's see what else is in this movie. There's a lot of stuff in this movie.
I didn't say this up top, but like one of the problems I have like discussing this movie overall is that like I really enjoyed it. I think it's light. Yeah. I think it's like pretty fun. Sure. I think there's themes we can dig into. And look, I took enough sociology classes and psychology classes in college that like I can bullshit about the metaphors and the themes of this film for hours if we want to.
It doesn't appropriate to the source material. Yeah. It doesn't hide what it's about by any means.
No, and it's not overwhelming the action either.
No, certainly not. It's a good time. That's the thing that kind of bums me out about is even if you don't know the stuff, this is such a good time movie. And unfortunately, the other thing that whether or not whatever Amazon learns from this, who actually owns the IP, my fear is that this will the underperformance of this will convince studios to be like, see, this is what happens when you lean into the colorful, goofy stuff. Is people don't like it.
Yeah, I don't
And
know.
that bums me out because that will lead to. I mean, it's the same thing that happened with to the aforementioned Dungeons and Dragons. I thought, man, could this be, the beginning of more lighthearted adventure films at least? And then it was like, oh no, people don't like that shit.
Is this movie the biggest like financial flop of? I mean, obviously it is of the year for sure, but like, does this beat
So
John
far,
Carter?
I think no, not historically. I don't think
Is
'cause they
anything
didn't
ever
spend
going to
that
beat
kind of
John
money.
Carter? Yeah,
No, because the amount of money that was spent on John Carter, that's the other thing, right? It's like
Yeah.
this is like $180 million movie, which is a lot of money. That's a lot of money. But John Carter's that was like 400 or something all in,
Okay.
where you're just like but that was a distinct example of in what world did you think this would be the biggest, not only a hit, but the biggest movie of all time, right? That's the thing where
Yeah.
you just start to get into like, at a certain point, irresponsible choices were made. This feels like maybe a roll of the dice, but still, at the end of the day, and yes, they are buoyed by it is Amazon. They will make their money back. Amazon, guys, Amazon will be okay. It also helps that they also have one of the year's biggest hits with Project Hail Mary.
Yeah, that which
Amazon
was
put that out
still
about a
in
few months
theaters when I went and saw Masters of the Universe.
Yeah, it's on Amazon now, but people are still going to the theater. So I mean, they'll be fine. Is my point. Yeah. And I'm not sure even that this. Yeah, I mean, once again, this being the biggest failure of the year, what does that even mean, though? In a company where Amazon is already going like, well, theatrical is not our main thing to begin with, so are we even really losing money if we're thinking about this in the long term? And we're probably selling toys and bed sheets and stuff,
And when you compare it to the take from Master of the Universe, obviously they're doing gangbusters.
But that movie also cost, I think here, $1.50 is what.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's. I mean, we're also movie theaters are still weird. It does feel like the whole industry keeps wanting to roll back to like, we are back, baby, and the answer is not really. Some stuff is successful, which is great, but I'm not sure we're back as an industry. I think there is still this thing about like, it's because I mean, our last episode we talked about Mandalorian and Grogu, and of course everybody wants to call that a huge bomb now, and you're like, actually, it'll make money. It won't be like a massive smash, but it won't cost the studio money. It'll be fine.
Spider-Man is going to make $2 billion because it's a Spider-Man movie.
Yeah, right. That'll be that. But like, I will say, I think the biggest question mark for me is the Odyssey is the biggest question mark of the summer for me.
I mean,
is
the
that
Odyssey's
thing
a question
gonna
mark
be
for a lot of reasons.
Is that going to be, because I mean, the way Nolan is positioning it, the way Warner Brothers is acting is like, we're talking about an all-timer here, folks. We're talking about an epic event movie. And will that happen? I don't know. And I truly don't. I mean, I'm psyched. I think it looks amazing, but
I just don't think it could possibly live up to the source material. That's all I'm saying.
Saying this movie can never match that epic poem. That's all I'm saying at the end of the day.
Look, I just read a translation of it that was done in iambic pentameter, and if this movie also isn't in iambic pentameter, I'm gonna lose my shit.
Oh, it's definitely not. That's already one of the things people are bitching about.
What?
Right? That everyone's speaking too modern.
Well,
God forbid.
It's funny.
That very real, story.
I know
it is a real time and place, but come on.
This is the type of nerd I am. I went to go reread the Odyssey, and the translation.
Already you've lost me. So go ahead.
I know the one I just happened to have in my house was like a mass market paperback from like the mid 2000s, and I started reading this, and my first reaction was like, I either need a way older translation or a way newer translation, because this is like it hasn't. It lost all the these and thous, but it hasn't quite gotten to like, well, we can maybe pare down the word count because ancient Greek is a weird translation knot.
Yeah.
The answer is
Sure.
go for the new translation in iambic pentameter by Emily. Oh shit, what's her name? Anyway, really good. Highly recommend.
Yeah, I'm not a thing. Not my kind of nerddom. I'm like, let me see Nolan writ large on the big screen is my Odyssey.
Yeah,
But
no, and look, it's a Nolan movie. I'm sure it'll be good and competently put together. But like, are mass
I'm not
audiences
even
in for a 4-hour Odyssey film?
It's under 3. I think it's 2 hours 50.
Really, that's actually shocking.
Yeah. The other big thing is that it got the R rating the other week.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Another big surprise. Yeah, it's going to be rated R. So I will say, tickets went on sale and it crashed AMC's website. So
what does that mean?
I don't know. A lot of people were trying to buy tickets all at once. I don't know.
Or that AMC has a shitty website. It's either or.
I don't know, but I mean, that was definitely an indication. I mean, look, Nolan has made miracles before, so I don't know. That's the thing, but I will say that is a fascinating one for me, and I will say, I mean, in kind of an exciting way of like, wow, a big swing from a studio in the summer is not normal.
No, for sure.
That is not a traditional summer blockbuster. I mean, it is if it was 1955. Like a sword and sandal epic, is not something we really get a lot, especially as like summer tentpole movies.
Yeah, like
something I love.
I expect a movie like this to be released in December, and like, look, we're all stuck inside. Yeah. Go watch The Odyssey.
Yeah, and as like a awards, contender, and sort of that space, like where a Gladiator movie comes out. That came out like in November.
Yeah.
But instead, or The Last Duel, any kind of Ridley Scott historical epic.
Also,
but
Matt
instead,
Damon.
This is a $200 million, just under 3-hour movie.
Yeah, we'll see.
All I know is, Gergoni, you getting that Trojan horse popcorn bucket?
I mean, how else am I supposed to fill it with all my different Matt Damon action figures?
I know, because I did see, I was like, of course that's the popcorn bucket. How did I not see
it? Super bugs me that the Trojan horse is the popcorn bucket and not the boat, but we won't get into why here.
Okay, sure, yeah. I mean, but it makes a lot of sense. Do you see what the other one is that they have though?
No,
it's an IMAX camera. I'm not even kidding.
That's
the other popcorn bucket is an IMAX camera.
I hate that.
You know who loves it? Christopher Nolan. He was very excited to get one.
He can just if you marry his IMAX camera.
If you look through the viewfinder of the popcorn bucket, there's a little image from the Odyssey in it.
This me right now staring at the camera. Yeah. This is my Cyclops moment. This is I'm going to just devour men and suffer.
I will say I read an article recently. Because now we're just talking about the state of film, which we ended up talking about anyway, but it's it's one of my favorite subjects. So I read an interesting article the other day about they were like, no joke, those popcorn buckets and collector's cups are saving theaters.
I mean, I hate that, but it makes sense.
I mean, that's a real big deal. That is because people are buying those.
The amount of cheap crap I see on display at the local Regal I go to that I have to walk past on my way to the concession stand. And it's like, look, I know you had leftover buckets from Borderlands. Don't try to sell them to me.
I love when they're like $2. Just get them out of here. We just need them out of here right now. God damn it. We just need to get rid of these. My favorite was, I think it was the Regal Theater that you're talking about, this or by you. That had, they clearly overestimated how many Taylor Swift collector's cups they did, because I'm sure they sold a ton. I have no doubt they sold a lot.
Sure.
But at a certain point, they just, when you went to grab the large soda, it was all just a row of, it was just the regular large soda cup became, we have to get rid of these. And so I went to a movie and got a Taylor Swift cup that I threw away because it was just the soda cup they gave me. Because they're just like they're filling up the back room of this theater.
We are out of space.
And I love that they just shoved it. They just stocked the cups.
Yeah, in the little cup thing that pushes out underneath the soda fountain.
You just go it's 40 deep on Taylor Swift cups. Yeah, I thought that was very funny that it was just like, oh, we overcommitted, maybe.
We neglected to account for the sheer number of Swifties that really needed a premium experiences at the AMC.
Yeah, yeah. Can I also, since we're on to other stuff, I want to bring forward another movie I saw real quick here as we're talking about summer movies that is my favorite movie of the year so far, and the answer won't surprise you at all, Gorgoni, and that is Steven Spielberg's Disclosure Day.
Oh, see, I thought it was going to be 007 First Light was your favorite film of the year.
Well, that's my favorite movie of the year is that game, which I of course played through. But no, I will say, as much as I love Masters of the Universe, if you are going to go to one movie right now, go see Disclosure Day. It is.
Oh, oops. Because I went and saw Masters of the Universe. Dang.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, oh my God, Disclosure. You would love Disclosure Day, though, man.
Oh?
It is. Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah.
A Spielberg alien movie? You think me, Mike Gorgoni, might like that?
Yeah, it is not a sequel to Close Encounters of the Third Kind. You remember that was a rumor for a while? I was like, this is a secret, covert sequel.
What if he comes back?
Yeah, and I was like, I doubt that. And as Spielberg has said, his 3 alien movies, his 3 like Spielbergian alien movies are all in conversation with each other. Close Encounters, E.T., and now this are in conversation with each other.
I'm sorry, does War of the Worlds mean nothing to you?
He doesn't count that because that's not his personal belief in aliens.
Okay, that's okay.
Because he doesn't believe aliens would be a nefarious force. So he said that's an adaptation of an H.G. Wells book. That is not a Spielberg alien movie.
Adaptation, sure, okay.
Yeah, but he said I made that as an adaptation of that book. I did not make that out of my own personal beliefs
about aliens.
And that movie's about 9/11, as he said many times.
Sure, yeah.
Which it is. But anyway, the alien trilogy, if you will, are all in conversation with each other, but they're not actually in the same universe. But
now,
I
gotta
say,
we think about the ending of AI as far as like extraterrestrials unearthing things. I mean,
the other thing you want to get into is also Dial of Destiny, Kingdom of Crystal Skull. People also brought up is also an alien. I mean, look, there's a lot of aliens in Spielberg.
Steve, I just think your numbers might be off. That's all.
But he's like, no, my UFO movies or whatever. You know, he's got anyway. I just think. Look, Spielberg's going to be 80 this year, and still, he directed this with energy that would put many a 20-something to shame. I know everybody's hot on all the YouTubers turned filmmakers that are happening right now, and I'm not here to bash on anybody, but I'll just say, like, I went to that movie and was just immediately absorbed by, like, this is old school theatrical filmmaking. This is a master at work doing what he does best. The set pieces are incredible, and I think it's a beautiful story about empathy, and I know I've already seen the podcast reactions about it's boomer ideology and it's why is it so in believing in the best of people? I'm like, I don't know. I think it's nice to see a movie where people make good decisions and there are good consequences.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is that a bad thing?
No.
Just go like, no, it wouldn't be good.
I love.
Spielberg throws out. What if it was? What if it did go well?
The fantasy of what if we were just nice to each other is a dying art. That's true.
I know, but I'm just like the idea that somehow Spielberg's like old man out of touch that he's not making a movie about how shitty the world is. It's like. I think it's important to tell those. There's plenty. I watch a lot of movies about how shitty the world is. You know this, Gorgoni, because you're always on me about, not on me about, but you're always pointing out how I watch a lot of bleak shit. So I went to one movie and was inspired about the possibilities of the world.
Okay,
thanks to Steven Spielberg.
Maybe I'll go
with awe and wonder.
I'll go watch Disclosure Day rather than get dragged to go see The Backrooms.
Oh yeah. I'm intrigued by Backrooms. I don't feel the need to go see. I think it's great that a filmmaker can come out of nowhere with something like that. I will say, I mean, it's some creepy empty rooms. If you're into it, I will just say I do not feel the pull to go see it. Obsession is I'm more interested in of the two like buzzy horror movies. Obsession interests me more. I haven't
I'll
seen
go
either
with
one,
neither. Thank you.
Nice movies about nice people who don't try to scare me.
I love that option. Let's do that one.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what we get, because I think that obviously I'm pretty sure I'm certain the next movie we're going to talk about on here for this summer is Supergirl. So we'll be
Woo!
interested to see what that has to say about hope.
Man, I
I feel
just
like maybe
reread
something.
Woman of Tomorrow in
Woman of
prep for
Tomorrow.
that. That book rules.
I mean, hot take: Tom King knows how to write a comic.
Good writer. Yeah, yeah. Good comic. Good comic.
Very good writer. Very, very good writer. And
Um,
yeah, Woman of Tomorrow is amazing.
yeah. I
The
obviously think the movie is going to be a departure from that, but do yourselves a favor, humble listeners.
yeah,
If you haven't read Woman of Tomorrow, the comic that is most probably going to align with what the vague plot of
it's
Supergirl
that. I
is.
mean, that once again, that's the much like a lot of Marvel stuff. That's the
Yeah,
starting place, right? They
sure.
start from that and then expand.
But it's
But that is the
also
basic spine of the movie, from what I gather.
such a talking about the themes of He-Man as well. That book in particular is so much about people's perceptions of power and how that power is used for good, and how someone who knows they wield that sort of power does so intentionally and with a eye toward doing good. And I think that is such an important, if they can even get like a tenth of the themes that the book is digging on in the movie.
As of right now, the first reactions of the movie coming out, and they've all been pretty overwhelmingly positive. So we'll
Yeah.
see if
Hope so.
that turns out. I have trust in everyone involved in making it, and
Totally.
based on what I've seen of it, it looks great, and it looks like it's capturing a lot of that comic, if not being, as James Gunn has said, it's like, of course, it's not a one-to-one adaptation, because number one, I don't know that comic, if you were to shoot that comic, if that would actually even equal a feature movie.
Also, it would have to feature Super Horse, and that's a character we haven't established yet.
Where is Super Horse? No, I think that once again, I think that's a jumping off point. And I also, the other thing is like, do you want it to? That's always a thing too about what the comic people is like. Do you want it to just be the comic and just go, well, they did it, they filmed it.
Yeah, yeah. Because I mean,
yeah,
that's the conversation we get into with those like animated adaptations that are just like sometimes just one for one. They did the comic, okay.
sometimes they are, but I will say even a lot of those are starting to deviate, because I think filmmakers are going like, yeah, but what if,
Yeah.
Because that is, I mean, we always talk about that. An adaptation can also be seen in some capacity as a second draft. You're like, well, they did that, and that did work pretty well, but I was kind of thinking maybe this happens. And aside from what a large chunk of the internet says, sometimes that's a very good idea.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
And I think that's interesting. I think it's interesting to see work filtered through other filmmakers. Or in the case of Travis Knight, staying so true to the aesthetics of Masters of the Universe, but also doing something new with it.
Being able to say something with those aesthetics. Yeah.
Yeah. So I hope Travis Knight keeps... Obviously, he's still on some level involved with Laika. And I know they have a new movie coming out.
Oh, Wildwood.
So, yeah.
I mean, as Portland locals, I saw the trailer for that movie and went, I know that place. I know that place. I know that place.
Oh, yeah, he directed that as well. So we actually get another movie directed by Travis Knight out. Because, of course, we didn't mention that, but he was the founder and CEO of Laika before he was directing movies based on 80s cartoons.
Look, sometimes a Nepo baby gets put in charge of a thing and it turns out okay. Because if Phil Knight
the Nepo
wants to fund...
The Nepo baby conversation, you can't paint with a broad brush, as with anything.
It's true. It's true.
Some people have the goods, man.
He got that Nike money and he did good with it.
Sometimes you get Travis Knight. Sometimes you get Jack Quaid. You know?
Yeah.
He's a good boy. He's Hollywood's good boy. But yeah, so there you go. Hope you enjoyed this month's panel. Like I said, the next one will definitely be about Supergirl, because that's one we obviously want to talk about, and the continuing DCU that's set in.
Can't wait. I want to see a big hairy man ride a motorcycle with a chain.
Oh, I'm so excited for Momoa as Lobo. The main man is coming to the big screen.
As the gods intended.
As Jason Momoa basically was like, ain't nobody else gonna do it, from what I gather. So yeah. we'll be back with that. But of course, if you want to get more from us, you can head over to our Patreon page, patreon.com/punchupend, including listening to that Masters Universe Revelation review in our archives, which you can get on there at the lowest level, at our lowest donation level. You get access to that. But of course, you keep getting more and more stuff as you go up the ladder there, and your support is greatly appreciated to help out both this show and all the shows on the Punch Up Entertainment Network. But also, what should people do, Gorgoni? Because they are watching this on YouTube, probably.
If you're watching this on YouTube, probably, then you should, there's some links down there. One of them says subscribe. Hit that one first. Then there's a little thumbs up right next to that. That's the like button. Hit that one second. Third, and this one's critical, there's a comment section. I need you to write something. Anything down there. Just write He-Man good. Rah! If you write that, I'll know that this has been communicated properly and that we are having a conversation here, and it's not just me screaming into the void. So please, comment below. He-Man good. Rah!
Yeah, once again, you always just hope you're not screaming into the void.
I mean, sometimes the void screams back, so please don't let it be the void.
Yeah, we're a little worried about the void screaming back at you, but but that is going to do it for Panel Up this month. I've been John Campbell,
and I will always be Mike Gorgoni.
Till next time, we're going to panel down.